I look around inside these four walls, and I can see this is not my home.
Being at LifeSpring, I have felt a lot closer. I feel more, more connected with Him, with God, because I feel like I can talk to Him on a personal basis now. Before, it was like I was just going through the motions. I didn't really understand. I just saw what other people did, and I thought, okay, this is the way we're supposed to do this. But now I have that feeling. Usually I'm a pretty black and white person, and so I never thought that God talked to me personally. Like, I thought maybe He would kind of put things in my path to let me see this is the way you're supposed to go. But about 6 months ago, I woke up in the middle of the night, and I had this feeling, and this thought just popped in my head: you need to go to the prison and help out there. And I thought to myself, who has said something to me about the prison lately that this is coming to my head at 2 o'clock in the morning? Well, I couldn't go back to sleep. And that whole next day, I just kept thinking about, why is this thought in my mind that I need to go to the prison? So this was like a Wednesday, and on Sunday I went to church, and a lady that goes to church with me, she works at the prison. And so I went up to her and I was like, is there anything that could be, I could volunteer with at the prison? And she goes, oh my gosh, they're looking for a choir director. And I was like, okay. So I went to the prison on Friday, and I was welcomed in immediately by the women. I never felt any fear. I prayed all the way from my home to the prison, God, please give me strength to do this, please protect me. But I wasn't anxious, I wasn't anything. They just welcomed me, and I told myself, you'll be all right, Crystal, you're not going to be in there with the bad ones. So they don't tell me their names. Like, I know their first name, but they don't tell me their last name, but they have it on their uniforms. So I looked at some of their names, and I remembered them, and so I went home and I Googled them. And when I Googled them, 4 of the 5 that I Googled were murderers. So I thought, okay, you're not going to Google anymore, because this is probably not good. But those 4 women, they don't treat me any differently than somebody at the grocery store. The chaplain asked me to tell the women my story, and before I could even get it out, one of the women came up to me and she said, before you start, I just want to tell you that I have been praying for this for 2 weeks, that we have a leader in our group. And it was, at that moment I knew it was God, because it had been 2 weeks ago that I was woken up in the middle of the night. And this woman's prayer, was being answered. And it was being answered through God talking to me. And the thing I have gotten the most out of this is I'm connecting with God through them, even through this ministry, because for a group of women to be standing in a prison and singing praise and worship songs, then it kind of puts your life in perspective, and maybe things just aren't as bad as you thought they were. And every week when I go, sometimes I think, oh, I really don't want to do this. And that's when I'm touched the most, is those weeks that I'm feeling, maybe you shouldn't be here. So, and they pray, to hear them pray in their church service, because I go on Tuesdays, Fridays, and every other Sunday. And I go into the church service, and so I'm not in my comfort zone with those ladies, because now I'm in with all kinds of prisoners. And again, I didn't feel the fear. But I heard some wonderful testimonies, I heard some wonderful praying, and they always pray for my safety. And so I always tell myself, there's only one thing separating us, and that's a bad decision. One bad decision on my part, and I could be where they were. And that's what they'll tell you. They made a bad decision. I love it there. And prisoners walking by the room where we were practicing will stop, and they will listen to these ladies just singing from their heart. And lots of times we don't sing from our heart. We just go through the motions. But almost every time they go there, they're singing through their heart. And they're talking to God, whether it's a practice or whether it's on a Sunday morning.
Take me prisoner, but I will not fear, 'cause my deliverer is already